Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good day and welcome to another interesting episode of the Headliner titled Meet the Elders on your favorite channel Mikia TV. I'm your host Omar Isa Dandagu. Well, today we are here back again at the Faculty of Communication of Bayero University, Kano, to meet an elderly person who has achieved a lot of things quite significantly. He started out his career as a journalist, as a newspaper journalist, and rose up to the position of the editor. And later in his life, he jumped into the academia and rose up to the apex where he became a professor of mass communication. Professor Gausu Ahmad is the elder that we are meeting this evening. And my name is Umar Isa Dandago, saying follow us and we're going to learn a lot from the ocean of his knowledge. Because recently, the story of his retirement from Bayero University, Kano, has astonishingly rocked the social media. And there have been lots of interesting headlines and articles written about him, as sort of tributes by his students and colleagues and so on and so forth. Well, Professor Gausu Ahmad, thank you very much. It's an enormous pleasure to have you on the show.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you doing, sir?
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Thank Allah for everything.
Well, we also thank Allah for giving us the opportunity to meet you right now at Bayero University, Kano. Briefly, what could we know about Professor Gausu Ahmad? Briefly.
Okay, I can mention my name is Professor Gausu Ahmad. Actually, the main name is Ibrahim, and the Gausu is a kind of subtitle, if you like.
Yeah.
Also, let's call it nickname.
Because you are Tijani?
Something like that.
That's why they named you Ibrahim and nicknamed you Gausu.
Yeah, wow.
Because it's the title of Sheikh Ibrahim Inyas.
Exactly. Now, officially, I am 70 years old today, this year.
MashaAllah.
Or last month, actually.
May Allah
I say officially because the actual record is not very clear.
Okay.
But I think it's something approximate to that.
So you could be 75 now?
Well, not quite. At least they're 72, 71, 72, I believe.
Wow, MashaAllah.
And so I was born officially again in 1954 at a village called Rahamar Wali. Rahamar Wali is in Makarfi local government, some 40 kilometers to Zaria. But I lived all my life here in Kano. My family is heavily divided into 2-3. Most of my family live in Kano. There are some in Zaria and there are some in Kaduna. Most of them in Kano. So all of us live in Kano, actually. But where we were born is Rahama.
Okay, mashallah.
So this is the little history. I did my primary school at Ganding Albasa here in Kano, a municipal local government, I believe. And then I went to school for Arabic studies, SAS, and did take a grade 2. And then from there, I went to School of Basic Studies, SBS, that is in ABU Zaria. After which I pursued a degree in political science.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes, a degree in political science. Now, when I finished my NYSC, that is National Service, I joined the New Nigerian as a special correspondent. Later on, I went to University of Wales.
In the UK?
In the UK, University of Wales.
Yeah.
In Cardiff.
Yeah.
That's why I did my master's in journalism studies.
Wow, fantastic.
Then I came back, I continued my profession in the New Nigerian, again, the New Nigerian newspapers, which I joined sometimes in 1981, July 1981 actually. And then coming back from having completed the master's studies, I came back to the New Nigerian, started working, and then sometimes somebody drafted me to the National Concord of National Concord Press. You know the Concord Press?
No. Is it a defunct newspaper?
Yes, newspaper established by the late Chief MKO Abiola.
Oh, fantastic.
The presumed winner of the
1993. June 12, 93.
June 12, yes. So they assigned me and they gave me the editorship of Community Concord in Sokoto, which I edited for about 3 years. Two years.
Excellent.
And then later on, I was again redirected to edit, to resuscitate the Democrat newspapers in Kaduna.
Okay.
We did it with late Mala Abba Kyari, the chief of staff of Buhari, under the leadership of late Ismail Isa Puntua, who was our MD then. And then also with late Malam Al-Bashir, Abdul Karim Al-Bashir, maybe you would know him, very prolific journalist.
Wow.
He's late now.
Okay.
And then from there, we went to Abuja again. Again, it was kind of drafting to edit one newspaper, The Nation. The Nation, the one I edited is not this one.
Okay.
This one is supposed to belong to the president, I understand.
Yeah, the current president.
Yes, the current president. But before it, we had The Nation. It was produced in Abuja. From The Nation, they called me to edit New Nigerian.
Okay.
The New Nigerian. Actually, I came there as deputy editor and chairman of the editorial board of New Nigerian.
Wow, that's fantastic.
In 1994, I joined the university.
Okay.
1994. I think today is exactly, I think it was in October.
30 years.
Yeah, in October 1994. And today is October 2004.
2024.
So, 2024.
This is exactly 30 years.
Exactly.
So you have been serving Bayero University, Kanu, for 30 straight years.
Yes, alhamdulillah.
MashaAllah.
Yes,
Alhamdulillah.
yes, alhamdulillah.
And okay, before we come to the part where you became an academic,
yes,
still talking about you as a journalist, how tough or easy was it for you to work as a newspaper journalist back in the 80s and 90s?
Yes. It was very interesting.
Okay.
It was very interesting. You know, the New Nigerian newspaper was a very powerful newspaper.
Okay.
And it was a newspaper to reckon with all over the country.
Wow.
The elite in the south actually look at the New Nigerian, and the New Nigerian at that time seems to be setting the agenda for the nation.
Wow.
So leaders actually listen to it, read it, I think take advice or whatever it says very seriously. And so it was very interesting to work in such an institution. We're very proud to be working in the New Nigerian. It was very, fulfilling.
Yeah. But what made it that strong, that powerful force to be reckoned with?
Yes.
What made it?
One, the degree of professionalism in the New Nigerian.
Wow.
The New Nigerian at the very beginning was set to tell the truth to its environment and to its neighbors.
Okay.
And it started as a very powerful northern newspapers in 1966, just before the late premier who established the newspaper was assassinated in the 1996 military coup.
1966?
1966, yes. And so it started very strong force, edited by very strong, very powerful intellectuals. Malam Adamu Chiroma, later on Malam Maman Daura, later on Turu Muhammad. These were very serious intellectuals, and they are people of no nonsense, and they believe in the truth, and they had pride, and they were very highly credible people. And the person who actually said it was one journalist from Britain again. It was called Charles Schaff. Charles Schaff. He started the newspaper and later on left it to indigenous editors. Like I said, Malam Adamu Chiroma, later Malam Maman Daura, later Maman Turu Muhammad, and so on and so forth. So it actually reflected largely the opinion of the northern elite.
Yes.
And in those days, it was the northern elite actually who are heading the federal government mostly. And they have a lot of inside sources of information. Yeah. And also they are very fair. They are being paid by as close associates. Okay. Gawan himself, for example, Gawan was very close associate of Mala Aduchiroma, Mala Mumandaura, and the editors.
So the northern elites that were very much at the center of the decision making of the Federal Republic of Nigeria at that time were the ones who were feeding you with, well, credible, no, not credible, like information.
Authoritative information, we say.
Sometimes intelligence, if we can use this word, or sometimes secret reports. So that you could be the first to break the news.
Authoritative information. I will not call it intelligence or something.
But wasn't there any fear of you being influenced by those people in the position of power?
Well, somehow, interestingly, the Nigerian also was very critical of government, some government policies. For example, I remember one editorial written during this Gawan era of squandering money.
The oil boom?
The oil boom, opening roads, bridges all over Lagos. And there was one powerful editorial. They said, it read, "Is this government mad?"
Wow.
And then it criticized the government for concentrating development in Lagos and leaving the inland environment.
The other parts of Nigeria.
The other part of Nigeria.
Okay.
And whenever federal government actually did something wrong, the new Nigeria will criticize it. And it seemed to me that the government will take that and actually set up, make some form of amendment. So it was a very, because the editors were very serious people, who were very objective. So if they give criticism, actually it was an objective criticism.
Okay.
So that's why the government actually regarded it as a high degree of respect.
But now there are many problems bedeviling the media ecosystem, the media environment nowadays in Nigeria, currently in the 21st century, one of which is the influence, ownership and control influence, the influence of the people that own the media houses, whether it's a print media organization or a radio or TV. And another thing is lack of, it's a monetary problem, financial problem, constraints. The staff are not being paid as well adequately as possible. So I want you to look at these two angles and compare them with your situation back in the days. Ownership and control, the influence of those people who are owning you, and then the issue of paying salaries.
Well, you see, the question of ownership, wherever it is very, very important. Don't forget about people calling themselves pre-press. There is no pre-press.
There's no free press?
Yes.
Even in the developed countries?
Absolute term. In this absolute so-called developed countries. In the developed countries, the press is owned by some conglomerates, some companies that are very powerful, that actually are the major movers of government decision. And so, in most cases, you see some pretension of being free, but actually behind the scene, there's this saying, whoever pays the fifer will dictate
the tune.
And this is everywhere. It's everywhere. So the question is, to what extent can you be able to be objective in your reportage? And even if that reportage is concerned with the effect your owners. And so in the case of the Nigerian, I think owners realized that whatever they said, the paper tried to say, it was in the interest of everybody. And there was what was perceived as collective interest of the North.
Okay.
And so you are coming from the North, I'm coming from the North, the New Nigerian is coming from the North. And so therefore we see the New Nigerian as a kind of beacon that leads the journey. Okay. And so therefore, if it criticizes us, we understand. Okay. So we make amends. Okay. Yes.
Well, then what about the issue of paying salaries? Did you have any problem with that as journalists?
I think the issue of paying salary started much later in the 90s. As for me, up to the time I finished my own profession, my own work, the New Nigerian, I never had any month that I was not paid salary. And the salary then was quite okay. A living salary for that. But
it was enough for you to get married?
Yeah, I did marry. I
married a motorcycle or car?
I bought a Vespa.
Wow.
I built a house.
MashaAllah.
I married 2 women. And so salary.
MashaAllah. Congratulations.
And I was very comfortable. Very comfortable.
Okay. So let's now move on. There is this issue. Okay, when you came into the university, you started teaching what, journalism? I believe not political science, because like your master's is in journalism.
Yeah.
What did you carry with you the field experiences into the university classrooms? And did you find that, okay, all those years that you had spent as a newspaper journalist were worth it, and now they are going to be as significant as possible in you becoming a university professor, lecturer?
Yeah, I think the transition was very easy, because you come to class and you teach whatever you learn there. I had a master's in journalism education, and so I was asked to teach print media related courses. So as far as teaching is concerned, I had no problem with that. My only problem was when I was writing academic papers. Whatever I wrote, they'll say, this is journalistic. This is journalistic. And so I had a lot of problem before adopting.
So
because
it was a bit challenging for you.
It was quite challenging. Quite challenging.
Oh, not even a bit.
Quite challenging to write academic papers. I think it was until after once I wrote a piece to be published, and the person who actually reviewed the writing, he completely, he destroyed the paper completely.
Oh God. He debunked it.
He debunked it completely. And they said the material I lifted, where I lifted, are better materials than the ones I wrote.
Oh my God.
So it was terrible. It was a very
terrible. You felt bad? You felt discouraged?
I felt, why did I even come to this university? Why should I should have stayed in my journalism. Yeah. But eventually, alhamdulillah, learning from our elders, and also trying to read a lot of books. Now, I happen to like books.
Oh, mashallah.
I also like seeing other people work.
Wow.
So I think from there, alhamdulillah, I was able to adapt. I'm not saying I have adapted completely, but at least I think I managed to somehow.
Okay.
Yes.
Recently, we have heard the story of your resignation, your retirement from Bayero University, Kano. Even though I would personally say, allow Professor Gausu to rest, but he is coming back definitely to the university, because like university is in his blood. I came across some interesting articles written about you as tributes. One of them on Daily Trust, written by Professor Abdullah Uba Adam, titled Humility Personified. The exit of Malam Gausu.
I think that is an exaggeration. That is an exaggeration.
A lot of people describe you as one of the most humble person they have ever.
Astaghfirullah. No, I think it's coming out of love.
Okay.
It's coming out of love, actually.
But
I can be difficult sometimes.
It's not only Professor Abdullah who describes you as humble. A lot of people have. You don't accept that tagging?
Well, I think I would rather say that maybe it is coming out of love. When you love somebody, you describe him whatever, some superlatives. Yes.
So Muhammad Jamil Yushau wrote a piece, and he says, Professor Gausu, the quintessential media scholar and a journalist.
You see, these are those superlatives, superlatives that try to write about you.
So, on the whole, what could you say to those people who felt duty bound to write about you?
They should be very, very objective. If they said they brought some positive aspect of my life, they should also be able to advise me to correct some other aspect. That is not, I am just human. I'm human. So if they portray some positive aspects. They could also advise me that in so and so ways I should also be able to correct myself.
But then, can't you use this medium to at least express your gratitude to them?
Alhamdulillah. Wallahi, I thank you. I thank them very much because it was very humbling. It was very humbling, and some of them mentioned something that I wish I am.
Okay.
Some of them describe me as somebody who loves Quran.
MashaAllah.
And I wish this description actually describes me. I wish so.
I forgot to say it in the introduction that you are a Hafiz of Quran, you are an Islamic scholar. And then you transitioned into the media.
I'm not Hafiz.
And you are a very diligent observer of the religion of Islam.
What? You see,
MashaAllah. MashaAllah.
So it is a question of you continue to struggle, jihad. You continue to struggle until you achieve whatever you can achieve, but you cannot be perfect.
Yes.
So Alhamdulillah.
How significant do you think it is for the media environment, both in the academia and in the journalism profession, to have religious people, religious-minded people as members? What can you say about this?
You see, is this life? The secular education, the secular job, and everything. At the end of the day, you find out that it is nothing. It is nothing. Eventually, if you don't have the fear of Allah, taqwa, actually you are getting nothing. You feel the life is very empty. So unless you have this taqwa and you're able to contribute to what people, positively to people, and that will bring some development to your community, the whole thing is nothing. Whether money, whether books, fame, intellectual fame, and so on and so forth. At the end of the day, it's nothing except what you are able to contribute positively to humanity.
Yes.
Yes. So I think people, especially during this time when there is a lot of fake news, stories that are not correct, stories that are very, very negative, stereotyping, and so on and so forth. So people should have the fear of Allah so that they can say the truth and only the truth as much as they can. Because you don't have absolute truth as a human being, but you can strive. Yes.
You are in your 70s and you still read newspapers. I can see the copy of Daily Trust.
Yes. This one is...
I saw you reading an article.
Yeah, I read newspapers generally. At least as much as possible, I like to hold the news in my hand.
Okay.
I like to hold the news.
Okay, you like to hold the paper.
The news. I like to hold the news.
Okay, not even the paper, but the news.
The news.
Okay,
and I like to hold, the articles. Not just the paper, but holding the news.
But what does that mean when you say holding the news, holding the articles in your hand?
Yeah, you see, when you read the screen, you're only reading the screen.
Okay.
But when you read the material from a newspaper, hard copy of newspaper or books, it is as if one you are just reading on the screen, and the other one you are actually holding the news or holding the material. So it is much more, it attaches, it goes directly to your heart more than the screen copy.
Okay, I understand. So there is this connection between the paper and the mind of the person reading them.
I think so. I think so. And maybe it is a matter of use. I will not call it addiction, but usage. Often usage. You are used to reading newspaper, and even if you read the online newspaper, you would like to hold the news.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yes. So this is, I think, why I always buy newspapers as much as I can.
So do you only read one type of newspaper, like Daily Trust, or you read most of them?
Well, you see, I teach a number of courses, newspaper-related courses. For example, when you're teaching newspaper layout and design, you need a lot of newspapers, different newspapers to show how they are designed and laid out. And so it's not just one newspaper that you stick to.
Yeah.
But in most cases, except for academic purposes, I read Daily Trust most of the time.
Okay.
But I like other newspapers as well. I like The Guardian in particular. I like The Guardian.
Because the name is from Britain, is derived from a British.
No, they have this intellectual orientation. They have some intellectual orientation. When they write their own news, they bring about a lot of backgrounding, and so it's very interesting.
So it's for the elites like you.
Well, I'm not an elite. I'm just a teacher.
Well, we are running out of time, Professor.
Okay.
Your final words about this interview.
Well, I thank you very much, Umar. I pray Allah will raise your status in this world and the other world, inshallah, and your colleague,
Ibrahim Salis.
Ibrahim Salis.
Yes.
Jazakumullah khairan. For this, I think, I don't expect, I don't think I deserve this. Jazakumullah khairan.
Ameen.
Allah saka muku alheri, and I urge people to emulate you. I see a lot of enterprise in you. And I pray Allah will help you, continue to raise you up, and bless you, and bless your offspring. You will have,
we are still searching.
Okay, inshallah. Allah Yasake Sachi, the best material. And
Ibrahim is a graduate of chemistry, but he's deeply interested in journalism.
Alhamdulillah.
He's a professional one.
Okay, alhamdulillah. Yeah, some people like that.
Yes.
You know Ibrahim Adokura?
Yes. The historian.
Ibrahim Adokura is a scientist.
Oh, mashallah.
But Ibrahim Adokura can tell you history more than any other professor.
Oh, mashallah.
He can give you current affairs. He can give you history of the reality, and so on and so forth.
We are recording with him very soon.
Yeah,
inshallah. The same series.
Okay. So, alhamdulillah.
Thank you very much.
Ameen.
Thank you very much, Professor Gausu, for giving us this opportunity to speak to you. On behalf of everyone that has contributed to the production of the show, Ibrahim Salis Nasser, Dr. Ali Musa, I'm Umar Isa Dandago saying goodbye and see you very soon. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.